Oh my god, Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 have both returned to the PS5, and I cannot wait to play them, guys. On this channel I'm going to do a series where I get round 100 on all the zombie maps on both games, and I'm going to get round 50 on the maps where it's not quite possible to get the round 100. So tune in, grab your popcorn and enjoy. The first map, as you can see, that we're going to do is Die Rise, and we'll see if I can do it or not and how many attempts it takes. Let's get into it. I was going to do a live commentary, however it didn't really go well because I wasn't quite thinking about the live commentary while playing, so the audio's not great and I can't really use it, so I'm going to do a voiceover for it instead, and hopefully it still works out well. So on round 1, I spawn in. I'm just going to get my points. I'm going to try this. I think this is like my second try. It's not that many attempts. I think it's literally my second attempt back on the map. And I didn't play Die Rise much before, so I'm not quite familiar with what to do right now. And I also should mention that I did have a broken controller while doing most of my attempts as well. I've only just recently got a new controller, so there's that too. But I thought I would just get as many points as I can. I'm pretty sure I didn't have the bank either at this point, so there's also that I have against me. I also figured out later as well on my more recent attempts that the armoured zombies are not round 2 zombies. I always had this wrong idea that there was a round 2 zombie. However, you can just shoot them once with the pistol and then stab them, and that does kill them. So they're not quite a round 2 zombie, and that's actually quite helpful information I learned later on. And I'm pretty sure on this attempt I waited for quick revive, and on my more recent attempts I didn't wait for quick revive because, let's be honest, if you go down on the early rounds it doesn't really matter anyway, because you want to be set up before you get your first down. Anyway, as you can see, on round 2 I'm still trying to get as many points as possible, using the pistol, using the knife, and as soon as I run out of ammo with the pistol I will use the M14 to shoot a bullet and then knife too, just to get through the earlier rounds safer. I don't want to get any early downs, as I mentioned before, and yeah, that's what I'm doing now. It takes me a while. I feel like the early rounds on this map are not that hard. Setting up is not that hard, even without the bank. I think if you're new to zombies and you want to try a map to get a higher round on, say like round 50, I think Die Rise is the perfect map for that. In a second, the elevator is finally going to come up and I'm going to finally be able to buy the quick revive. That's what I'm just jumping around waiting for right now. There you go, as you can see I just bought quick revive. And then after that I'm going to head down into the elevator. This is the elevator in the spawn, and I'll just fall down, and then as soon as I'm down there I'm going to look for the key, because you want to get the key for the higher rounds just in case you mess up the strategy and you need to get your perks quickly, or you need an elevator to come to you quickly. And then yeah, after that I'm going to get the liquefier. As you can see, there's one of the parts. There's also another part on the left there. All you do is just run down the stairs and start building it on the workbench in front of me. There's also another part to the right that you would see under in the crate, but I'll get this one first. I remember on this attempt I was confused on where all the parts were because I was pretty new to the map still, as I mentioned before. The third part is just around this corner on the side here. As you can see I got that, and then I'm going to start building it. And I know that I couldn't find the last part for a while, I do remember now, so I went to try and get Jug, but then the elevator decided to take it away from me. I do remember that the elevators were confusing at the start, but I did get the hang of it a lot easier. But Jug does come back up and I do get it in the end. Now I have the 3 perks. I got double tap before as well, and I'm going to try and look for the last part. I do find the key, and this is, I just remember searching and searching and searching. I could not for the life of me find the final part, and now looking back at it, it is a bit annoying that it was literally next to me at the workbench, so I do feel a bit silly looking back at it. Somehow I didn't see it. I don't know how I didn't see it. I do finally find it after all that time. I remember I had to look it up, or I'm pretty sure I asked one of my mates to look it up for me. But we do get the Sliquifier there, and we do re-pick up the key. I'm now on the elevator, just waiting to go up. I thought I may as well end the round, because there's not much of a risk, especially on the early rounds. It's only round 3 going on to round 4. I do remember on my early attempts I didn't quite understand the elevators and how they had worked yet, but in the end I have figured it out that in this building there is double tap, Juggernog, Mule Kick and Pack-a-Punch, and then in the other building there's Quick Revive, Who's Who and Speed Cola. So they are all random in the buildings, but they can only ever spawn in those buildings. They can't ever mix up, and Jug can't just go on the Speed Cola side and vice versa. So that was good to learn, and if you knew, that's also a good thing to know as well. The Bowie knife is there, but there's not really any point getting the Bowie knife on this map, because as you'll see later, there are Galvanuckles, which are a lot better for the jumping jack rounds if you want to get perks, and if you want to just use it as well on the earlier round. Finally, I get up on the elevator, and around the corner I do see Speed Cola, so I do grab that, and now I've got all 4 of my perks. I'm then going to run past the sushi bar and then go down the slide to get to the box. On my more recent games, I have been shooting the Sliquifier at the sign to get the unpatched Sliquifier. I know it's not fully the unpatched Sliquifier, but it is definitely worth doing. Now this is the round 30 speedrun strategy that I'm in now. At the time of this recording I didn't really quite know that it was, so I just left because I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't want to die, because on my more recent attempts I do sit there with the AN94, which I've just bought there now, and I do sit there until about round 20-25, depending on how I feel. I'm not good enough really to sit there until round 30. I don't trust myself to do it. I have tried before and taken her down, and it's not, in my opinion, that much faster than just sitting on the normal ledge, so I don't think there's really any point risking your life just for an extra like 5 or 6 rounds for maybe like an extra minute or 2 saved. So I usually do just go and sit in the normal spot after about 25 rounds. The next thing that I need to do is Pack-a-Punch the AN94, so right now I'm just going to find the Pack-a-Punch again. This maze part of Die Rise is still confusing to this day. I think I've now attempted the map over 20 times and I still don't quite understand how the maze works. I have no idea the route or anything, but as you just saw, I did find the Pack-a-Punch finally, so I'm just going to save up to Pack-a-Punch the AN so that I can finally start the high round strat. This is my first jumping jacks round. I didn't quite get enough for the Pack-a-Punch before it, and I'm pretty sure I don't know how to get the free perk yet, because on this game I didn't buy the Galvanuckles or anything. I tried doing it, but then as soon as I missed the first knife, I decided not to, because to be honest, Black Ops 2's knife system is not very good in my opinion. So I didn't want to risk downing or anything on a very low round, so I thought I'd just try and do it with the Sliquifier. I'm pretty sure that it's impossible to do it with the Sliquifier, because there are times where I haven't missed a single bullet with the Sliquifier and I still don't get the perk, so I don't think it works with it. If anyone else knows, and maybe I'm just not great at the game, but if anyone knows, let me know in the comments, but I'm pretty sure the Sliquifier can't get the perk, because I've definitely gone without missing before with it and I still haven't got it. But I finally have enough for Pack-a-Punch, so I'm just going to wait until that finally comes up and then I can Pack-a-Punch my gun, which it does now. So I Pack-a-Punch it, and then I'm fully set up for the high round strategy, and it's only round 7, and that's without using the bank. So it does show that Die Rise is a very easy map, I think, on the low rounds. It's not like other maps where it's hard to set up, like Origins or anything. It is a very simple setup, and you don't even need the bank to do it. But yeah, this is the ledge that I was on about before. This is the round 30 speed run strategy. You literally just drop onto this ledge and the zombies come out one by one. When they start walking, it's a bit more than one by one, but that is where you do it to get the fastest round 30. In this gameplay, I did drop down to the next ledge where you usually camp with the slick fire, and I used the AN, which I learned very quickly, judging from these red screens, that it is not the correct thing to do, and it is definitely not safe. I would suggest when you drop down to this ledge to just use the slick fire, and obviously, as I mentioned before, you should probably drop down there around round 25 and then use the slick fire from then on. I got another jumping jacks round on round 19, and I was trying to use the Galvanuckles to get the free perk, which is something you can do on this map, which is quite a cool addition. There's only 6 perks on the map. The only other perks you can get is Mule Kick and Who's Who, and I've started to not get Who's Who anymore. This is due to it not really working out for me, and I feel like when you get the Tombstone perma perk from getting all your perks on round 2, it's just a lot better and it's a lot safer, and then you don't have to keep dropping off on the edge. You can just get quick revive back at the end of the round, instead of halfway in the round you're in Who's Who with nothing trying to revive yourself, which you would lose a quick revive anyway, because the safest thing to do is not revive yourself in the end. But yeah, this is the strategy with the slick fire. This is all you do. You just sit here and shoot the slick fire. Some zombies do fall off the edge in the higher rounds, because I'm guessing there's so many zombies spawning in that it just bugs out and launches them off the ledge. I've had a couple of games where I've got really unlucky and they've just fell on top of me and I've had downs from it. It's very annoying. I also started to get insta kills in the higher rounds because they do help out a lot and it does speed up the round a lot. When I first started doing it, for example, in this game, I wasn't very aware of how to use them effectively. You can just stand on this window ledge here on the opposite side and it is a lot more effective right here where I stand now. It's a lot easier to just jump onto there, and then you don't really have any risk going down, and you can kill I feel like you can kill a lot more zombies from here. But it's also risky because you need to pay attention to the insta-kill, and as you can see, it just calls me to the death. I feel like zombies getting launched off the edge and insta-kills are the ways I always go down. But obviously, as I said, in Who's Who, you can just train and it will revive you if you have quick revive with all your perks, so it is fine. But yeah, it is a bit of an unfortunate death, to be honest. I do end up recovering finally, but when I went down I did fall off, so I had to run all the way back around and get back up, and as you could see I didn't revive myself, so the Who's Who was lost and so was the quick revive, so I now have all 4 perks. I can't buy back quick revive, I can't do anything, so I was a bit worried here, so I thought I'd try and put as much money in the bank as I could before panicking. And I have learnt that you can train around this bit and it's a lot safer, but in the beginning here when I was fairly new I didn't really know where to train and where it was safe. I also start to get monkey bombs later on in my other attempts instead of not having them, as it's a lot safer, and in these situations when you do fall down and you need to go back around and the elevators aren't really helping you out, it's a lot easier to just throw a monkey bomb, wait for the elevator, and when it's there you can throw another one and just get up safely, because that room is very tedious, very dangerous, and it's hard to train in, to be honest. It's very close quarters. Die Rise is fairly easy, I've noticed. I think the strategy is a bit off-putting because when the zombies do launch at you off the ledge and you do go down from it, it is very annoying and it is very tedious, and I don't feel like it's a very consistent strategy, to be honest. I feel like other wonder weapons in other strategies is a lot safer and more consistent, whereas this one doesn't feel as consistent, and it can be frustrating because it does lead to a lot of deaths that I feel like I shouldn't have had, and I feel like they shouldn't have happened, to be honest. Saying that though, when you are in the strategy and it is going well and it is working, it is a fairly easy strategy. I would say the early rounds, like I said earlier, and the high rounds are pretty easy, and I think this would be the easiest round 100 out of all of them for the old maps, other than probably Ascension and Kino on Black Ops 1, but on Black Ops 2 I think this is definitely the easiest one. As you can see here, I do run out of ammo on the Slickfire, and I haven't had this happen in my recent attempts, to be honest, but in this attempt it did happen, so I had to try and trade it out in the middle of the round, and I'm gonna be honest, I was very scared, so I did try and put more money into the bank again and just see if I could get something done. I managed to get up on the elevator, and in a second you'll see that I do manage to find the box, and I do get to the box to try and trade out the Slickfire and try and train the zombies a bit. There is one zombie here that I do manage to kill with the AN. I was fairly surprised it did kill it, considering it's round 54. It took a lot of ammo obviously, and I didn't have much ammo left either, but I did manage to kill it. But there was definitely more zombies, but there wasn't too many. It was fairly close to the end of the round in a way. It wasn't the start of the round, but it definitely weren't like one zombie left. I had a chance to get it. There was no point just ending game. I did have a chance to try and get it, so I thought I will try and trade out, because I had never traded out before. This is my first time ever trading out, other than when I was like a little kid. I got round 100 on Kino, and I had to trade out then obviously because it was Black Ops 1 when I was a kid, but that was years ago. This is the first time I've had to trade out since then, playing zombies properly. So it was definitely difficult, and it did take a while. I remember I think it literally took me like 20 minutes to get it. And as well, in the clip just then, if that zombie didn't die, I'm fairly sure I would have got trapped and then died. But yeah, as you can see, I managed to get the Slickfire back. I managed to do the trade successfully, and it went well in the end. I tried getting quick revive from the jumping jacks just then, but it did give me Who's Who instead, which was very unfortunate. And in the end, I did end up dying from this situation. I fell off, I only had Who's Who, so I was very scared. I had no ammo again, because in these earlier attempts I was very, very bad at conserving ammo, and I didn't really know what I was doing. So I remember I tried to train in here. I wanted to make sure to group them all up, and then my plan was to just jump across and pray that I can get a lucky box and just get the Slickfire back very quickly. Looking back at it now, I probably should have went to the sushi bar place and just trained there with the ray gun and maybe not messed around, but even so, then I still probably would have died. I should have just conserved my ammo with the Slickfire and not panic shot as much as I did. And I probably as well should have used the key. I did try to, but I've never actually used the key. In all my attempts, I've never used the key, so I didn't realise that you had to craft it to get the elevator down. And obviously I just said I've never used it, so I don't know if the elevator actually comes down with the perk or if you can get on it. But here I do somehow manage to get through that. I had no idea how I got through that, but it's just not looking good for me right now. I remember trying to think of a way to get out of this, so I thought this bit was a bit easier to train in the last time, so I thought I'd try and slowly train in here, but then a zombie trapped me and I end up going down in Who's Who. And then I didn't really know what to do because there were all the zombies, my body was on the floor behind them, and I had no perks, obviously, in Who's Who. So I tried to take my time and train them. I probably shouldn't have went here. I probably should have just circled back around that longer table, but somehow I made it through. So I was just running my fastest to get to my body to try and revive myself. There were obviously walkers as well. I do manage to revive myself in the end. And luckily for me, the elevator was perfectly already down, so I could get straight back up. So I don't know if it's a thing, but I've started to knife it on my more recent attempts, the elevator, and I feel like it goes up quicker. I don't know if that's just in my head or if that's an actual thing, but whenever I've started to knife the elevator, it has been going up quicker, but maybe that's just in my head. But here, I have the ray gun, I shoot that zombie to try and get it to stay still. I see the box and I just go for it. I just try and get the Sliquifier to try and continue this attempt. But yeah, I'll let this bit play out and I'll let you see what happens and if I manage to trade it out or not in the end. So let's see what happens. And I died. Oh, it's the same round! It's the same round! Oh, that's so annoying! To wait for my fucking controller to work. Oh my god. No. I can't do it. I can't do the round 100 with the controller bugging out all the time.
Let's get Darren's opinion. Darren Can's watching on there. Which one was it?
I fucking died!
Yes, I believe that Whistle has got
fuck!
Potential foul.
Oh, I don't know what to do.
Which he seems to make a bit of a meal out of. I agree with Alan that there is no foul on the goalkeeper whatsoever. So we don't know, but I think he's given the first foul. The only thing I can see there is a slight to Mendy on his toes, but there was not enough for me to give that as a free kick.
As you could hear, I was not the happiest when I died on that one. I think the worst one I had was the full damage one, but that was a close second. I am going to continue trying and I will get the round 100, so please stay tuned for it. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. I'm going to carry on doing the series. I'm going to get the round 100 on this map and all the other maps, and I'll get round 50 on the remaining ones. I do apologise if the editing or the mic volumes or any clip volumes or anything is off. I hope that it's okay, and I will be improving. This is my first ever video. I've never done this before, so hopefully it's okay and I will get better at it. So if you want to stay tuned and you want to keep seeing what I put out, then definitely subscribe, definitely like, and I will keep making videos. So yeah, hope you enjoyed.